Alright, ladies and gentlemen, KR is dropping another balance patch on April the 5th, but honestly, all I care about is Raven stuff, so I'm just going to go through Raven stuff because this is a long patch. There's a bunch of things. So I'm just going to go through Raven, see what he's got, because that's honestly all I care about personally. So let's get started. So Maximum Cannons got buffed in both places. Cannon Blades got a buff, Power Assault's got a buff, 7 Burst got a buff. Like, it looks like they're just buffing everything. Wait, no, Shadow Step got a nerf. That's okay, sure, whatever, I guess. But a buff in PvP? No, it's a nerf. Flame Sword got a nerf. So are they nerfing actives? But I got a buff in PvP. Interesting. Divider is the same. Oh, it's a buff in PvP. That's whatever. Berserker Blade buff in PvP. Hypersonic Stab. Oh, that's a pretty beefy buff, actually. Raging Slash. Pretty much the same. Fatal Wound, nerf, Armor Crash, buff. It's really the damage though, that's whatever. Bloody Excel looks the same. Giga Drive Limiter looks the same. That's a buff to the explosion. Shockwave Cutter, buff. Wolf Fang, buff. Ooh, that's pretty beefy. Flash, a little nerf, but a buff in PvP. I wonder why. This looks relatively the same. Shoot up. Sharp Charge looks the same relatively. Sonic Slash buff in both instances. Cut Tendon relatively the same. Rend nerf, really a nerf to Rend. Rend already got a nerf before, but double the power in PvP. I don't think it's up to its old power, but that's pretty good. Force Berserker Blade got a nice hefty buff, which is amazing. I love Force Berserker Blade. Hypersonic Stab Force got a buff, pretty beefy. I don't think it's as beefy as the other one, but still pretty good. Force Shockwave Cutter, pretty decent buff, pretty decent. 0.5 and looking at 0.5 increase. Normal Valkyrie Javelin, looks the same. Blue buff in PvP, it's whatever. Charge Bolt, a little bit of buff. Guardian Strike. Nerf actually in PvP and PvE. Interesting. Why Guardian Strike? I mean, it is good, but I didn't think it was that good. They need to nerf it with all these buffs anyway. Hell Dive, buff. Mega Drill Break, buff. Yeah, really in PvP, a buff too. This is like one of the best skills for damage, and one of his best active skills for damage anyway, and catching. Weapon Crash. Nerf. Weapon Crash did do a lot of damage in PvP, so I had to hit it hard. They hit it hard before. Nuclear got a buff, that's cool. Arc Enemy got a buff, this is surprising. Okay, so nerf to PvP, because it was really amazing in PvP. So it makes sense that they would nerf it there. Wild Charge looks like the same. Buff in PvP, 300%, that's not bad. X Crash got a buff in both places, pretty beefy in PvE. Maximum Dive got a nerf, okay, but buff in PvP. Weird, but okay. Powerbomb looks the same, but buff in PvP. 100%, not bad. Devastating Strike, decent buff, 1000%. Buff in PvP, but whatever PvP. We use Devastating Strike back. Limit Crusher, damage buff, but that looks like it's it. Enchant Hand, damage nerf for some reason, who cares? It's only for the effect, really. Spread. Nerf and damage in both places. Spread's a really good move. I mean, it's mostly utility, so it's whatever. There's a passive exploding Nasad Hand. The actual explosion from the Nasad Hand is reduced. It's interesting. Reducing in PvE doesn't really make sense. PvP, I guess, makes sense because all the damage matters. Force Valk Jab looks the same, but buffed in PvP, just like the other Valk Jab. Force Nuclear, pretty decent buff. 500 to 700, it's really good. Force Wild Charge, buff in PvE. Oh, here we go. From 500 multi-hit to 700 multi-hit. I mean, people might use it now. Alright, this is the very important thing. This is my boy, Nova Imperator, or Veteran Commander. So this is what I really care about the most. Okay, Harpoon Spear got that juicy buff, 300%. Here we go. Looks great. This is the initial hit, then the explosion doing more, 2000 per. That's so amazing. Well, when it hits the ground, and then the chain explosion doing 318% when you overheat it. I love that. That sounds amazing. Buffs in PvP, I like that. Remember that all this damage is without the heavy trait on, because it usually has heavy on, I think. PvP, I use Ruthless, but I think it usually has heavy. Revolver cannon. This is a normal revolver cannon, so I don't care that much because I use Force revolver cannon. But it got buffed, which I assume that means the Force one would get buffed, or maybe they're buffing this so more people use a normal one. I don't know. Hellfire Gatling, one of the worst skills in this game, buff. But honestly, who cares? I mean, that's a decent buff though, cause 100 per shot. I don't know. It's still probably trash though. Haze Explosion got a nerf in damage. Oh, it's whatever. Napalm Grenade got a nerf in damage, but a buff in PvP damage. Okay, 200%. That's okay, I guess. Mental Crash got a damage. Like, what's the point of damage nerfing Mental Crash? Like, who cares? Okay, whatever. Giga Prominence. This is interesting. Here we go. Cause look at this. Hold up. 350. I mean, 850. 850. 1631. That's double the damage. They just doubled the damage output of Giga Prominence, and I don't know if that makes it good. Cause double the damage is a lot. Giga Prominence can hit a lot, especially on big bosses. Giga Prominence can, like, you know, work at stuff. Like, that actually might be pretty usable now with doubling the damage, 850 to 1631. Like, I don't know, guys. Giga Prominence might be useful now. I might have to try it out. Let's see. Ignition Crow Napalm, also known as the Ground Ignition Crow. Looks the same. Buff in PvP. This is cool. I like using Ignition Crow Napalm to initiate because it's a very cheap 200 MP. I don't take any traits on it. Ignition Crow Incineration, also known as Air Ignition Crow. Another damage buff, which is beautiful because it's great for clearing rooms. Take the enhanced trait, makes it even. Now it's even stronger, so that's beautiful. And PvP too. This skill is especially very nice in the Nova Imperator mirror match because his passive will activate, but if you do a second anything of DOT, it'll kill him and not practice proc his passive. I'm sorry, it'll not proc his passive. So you can just kill him with that. Very nice. Deadly Raid got a nice beefy buff. Here we go, from 700 to 1500. That's a 500% increase to each hit, so that's pretty good. And well, that's the physical hit. The important part is the explosion, which also is pretty beefy, 850 to 1481. So there you go. Looks good. Deadly Raid is actually very good with the Nova Imperator right now because it stacks 3 parts of his passive. So there you go. Hellfire, pretty small damage buff, but you know, worth it. Hellfire is a good skill. Bursting Blade. Here we go. Normal Bursting Blade got a damage buff, which gives me hopeful to Force Bursting Blade because I really like that move. So let's see. Ifrit Flame looks the same. PvP got a little buff, but PvE is where you would mostly use it. It seems the same. Yeah, it seems the same. So yes, that's nice. Breaking Fist got a damage nerf, but buff in PvP. Why would you nerf it in PvP? Like, I don't understand these. 1612 to 1611. I don't like. Ooh. Why does it matter? Did you just felt like you needed to change something? Whatever. Ground Impact, 709 to 76, a little buff. Flame Sword Flurry, got a little damage nerf. It doesn't matter, no one's really using it that much. Well, I don't really use it that much because it's just a pain to just be like, because it doesn't have super armor anymore, so it's not that useful. But it still can be, I guess. Okay, here we go. Force Revolver Cannon, the big awesome damage, got a buff, slightly smaller than definitely a normal revolver cannon, because this is 1000 going to 11, where normal revolver, let's scroll back up here real quick, normal revolver went from 700 to 10, so it's more like revolver cannon is like going up in damage a lot, the normal one's going up in damage a lot, to compensate for the normal revolver cannon, for the force revolver cannon doing so much damage, but it still does more damage, but not so much more damage. So now it's just like, okay, what do you like more, piercing or the little bit extra damage with splash? I still think the little bit extra damage is better because it all adds up kind of. Nerf in PvP though, down to 397. I wonder if that's like worse than the normal one? Let's go back up and check. Yeah. No, 361. It's still better. That's interesting. The kind of buff in PvE, nerf in PvP. Okay. Force Harpoon Spear. Pretty big buff for the first hit, but the big explosion got a buff, but it's like very small, and buff in PvP, so it's whatever. Force Bursting Blade nerfed. I'm honestly not surprised because that was like a crazy burst damage, but buff in PvP, so that's cool. Shame the PvE nerf, but oh whatever. Wow, okay, and then we go straight to Eve here. So none of the passives got hit for Nova Imperator. So his revival passive is still okay. His gaining MP passive is still okay. So that's really cool. I love the gaining MP passive. It really helps a lot in dungeons. And the revival passive is like so crazy in PvP. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if they nerfed it. Obviously, I don't want them to. But again, there is some type of counterplay for it. But there you go, Nova Imperator across the board buffs, and like the hidden one, Giga Prominence, double damage for Giga Prominence. I don't know where this came from. Well, I kind of do because his 300 MPs are very trash. So maybe they're trying to fix that. Like after so long, finally trying to fix that. But maybe it'd be cool if they are. But that'll do for this video. Tell me in the comments what you guys think of this. I only went over the Raven ones because that's honestly all I care about. Because this video would be way too long if I did everybody. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. I'm very excited for this Nova Imperator stuff. More damage is always great. I'm interested to try out Giga Prominence. But tell me what you guys think. Tell me about your characters. What changed for you guys? Leave them in the comments. Are you happy? Are you sad? Did something crazy happen? Like, oh man, this crazy thing got a crazy buff. Because that's kind of my reaction to good old freaking Giga Prominence over here. So tell me if your class, any of your classes, were just like, whoa, where did this come from? This crazy damage. But until next time, guys, I will see you.